Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today we're playing Battle for Middle-earth 2 once again. You may have noticed that I've been doing a lot of Battle for Middle-earth 2 recently. Obviously I came out with my Evil Hard speedrun not long ago. That was the final speedrun category, the main category, and they did a get world record in. Obviously we got both easy, good and sorry, both easy and hard, good and evil speedruns. But we're actually back improving the Evil Easy speedrun. So what exactly has changed? Actually, not a lot, to be honest. And really, the main thing here is just basically execution. There are a couple of little things I did mention in my hard speedrun. That things like moving in cutscenes is now a thing that we can do, which it helps a little bit. It does speed up, sort of mission 3, maybe slightly, by a few seconds. It helps on this mission, though it doesn't technically speed it up. But yeah, so basically it's just a whole execution thing. The main level is like mission 3, mission mission 4, but not there's not a lot of time saving 4. But mission 3, mission what is it 8, and mission 2 as well. All got some quite big time improvements, and yeah, I look forward to talking about that. But yeah, here in mission 1. So what has changed? Well, nothing really. Again, the fact that we're able to move in a cutscene here, particularly once we get right to the base, is quite helpful. It means sort of the order in which I'm building things. Again, I explained this in my hard speed run, but basically how you move in cutscenes is you queue up, you use Alt to queue up moves, and the cutscene will cancel the first move of you guys, so theoretically they'd all be standing still. But obviously you've queued it up, so they'll keep moving, and you can see here we're just about to go in. Get close enough to that, it pulls you over. My unit's still moving, their movements are all frozen. This was particularly important in the hard speed run because your cavalry can just die. Your Nazgul can just die very quickly. But it's obviously useful here as well. Something about the easy speedrun obviously is very easy. You don't really lose fights, which is why I was able to pull off a really strong world record time actually here. Like the mission times that I've gotten in like my individual levels are really good. There's not really any time save that I can find anymore, and this run is 22 seconds lower than my total amount of gold splits. Which is not a lot of time, even for a quite short run. A 37. Well, no, what is this? It's a 32-minute run. 22 seconds, still not a long time, so it's really strong. You can see here I'm actually getting a ton of command points because obviously playing easy difficulty. And if you don't know about this mission, basically you're waiting on the buildings to come up. It's sort of a tutorial mission. You need to build a cave troll, and you need to get the upgrade for the fissure before the mission ends. And we were slightly slow, I think, on getting the upgrade and the cave troll. I missed it because I was microing my Nazgul, and it actually produces a slightly slower time than my last run on easy. It was a 3:13. This is a 3:15. It's still not that bad, but considering I actually lose 4 seconds here in my total gold split, you can sort of tell how tight this run is, because this is one of my weaker missions here, and it was 4 seconds away from the best time we could ever achieve on this mission. But yeah, what was I talking about? I've also been running, I should mention, you've probably been seeing individual levels popping up last few days. And the difference between that and this basically is that I'm allowed to go into those levels with maximum power points for the time, command points, power points, whatever you want to call them. And that sort of allows me to generally do the missions faster than this one, and that is by the time. I mean, I've just released mission 8 actually as we're recording. This was about an hour ago. I released mission 8 on my channel, and that is the main mission where it gets like several minutes of time saved by being able to use power points. I recommend checking that out because it's actually a really cool strategy that I came up with. I talk about generally I talk about all the strategies and the improvements and stuff in the descriptions of videos, so you should make sure you look there for information about that. But yeah, it's a really cool video. Unfortunately, we can't be using that obviously in you know, the full game runs, because you don't have the command points to be doing ridiculous stuff like that. But yeah, compared to what you can get in these runs, you know, this run is near perfect. I don't think I'm going to be improving this again unless someone finds something that's really, you know, game breaking, and I don't know how obviously I have to come back to this. But yeah, I think we save 1:57 compared to our previous easy bar record. So it's a really good one here. I feel kind of weird explaining how these missions work, considering I only done this like 2 weeks ago on my hard run, and the missions are fairly similar, with the exception that enemy units are just a lot weaker. So there isn't too much new to be explaining, but I guess I'll explain it as though you haven't seen it in my other runs, because you might not have done watching this. But yeah, the boat section here. So we actually start in the first mission. We start with scavenger, which isn't useful at all in that mission. But what it does for here is it means all of our boats, every time we destroy an enemy boat, we get an extra 250 gold, which is a really big deal, because it allows us to make a lot more boats than you would normally have. So this first sort of section here, most of it can't be sped up at all. Essentially, you have to get 3 boats out, and once you've got 3 boats, the waves come in. The only way that matters it actually matters if you kill it fast, is the final wave, which is about to come in here. And then that'll be what expands the battlefield again. But you can see we're already moving boats over to that shoreline. If you played the mission before, you know exactly why this is. And yeah, I think the final wave is about to come in here. We've also, because I actually done really well in the first mission, I got an extra 5 command points up from the start. I was able to start off with this mission with bats, which doesn't matter, but that is the next upgrade, and you'll see why. Basically, that's just for vision in this mission, but it's also, it does speed things up in mission 3. You'll see that in a minute as well. So that goes down, outfit expands. You can see I'm building 2 bombardment ships as soon as they're unlocked, before the cutscene comes in. I'm not sure if I remember to do that on my hard run. That is something you're supposed to do. I don't remember if I remember to do that or not, but either way, yeah, my Corsairs are going up immediately as well before the cutscene, and that's just essentially to capture that building. You get a bunch of money just instantly when you capture that, so and that allows you to get your bombardment ships up. You want 6 bombardments on top of all obviously your 12 standard boats with max upgrades. And yeah, just moving in here. Basically, a lot of this these enemy boats are trapped behind the fog of war still. But you can sort of draw most of them out and kill them early, so we're going to be going ahead and doing that. Obviously, the money is still important here. It means we're going to have to get our other boats up in time. And yeah, mission 2, it's a bit of a slow one, especially sort of the early. Well, to be honest, a lot of it is slow. But again, we've saved, it's got to be like 40 seconds here. I think over 40 seconds actually compared to my PB. This was a PB time. This actually beat out my my individual level time by 6 seconds. I beat that here. Not that the PowerPoints going into with 15 PowerPoints to this mission didn't really matter. But I just executed this mission slightly better. Obviously, it's an earlier on mission, so PowerPoints aren't as big of a deal. But yeah, wave coming in here. This is the big part of this mission, because you want to get that beach cleared very quickly if you can. Obviously we're moving in with our boats immediately here. We target a fortress, and then we're ready to go into this beach invasion. So you notice I actually pulled my Corsairs back, and that's because we have 2 boats that are already stationed here, and they do a lot of damage to these enemy melee units. So you want to be pulling the Corsairs back into the range of them. Using the fire damage to help take out those Ents out there is generally a good idea, because they're obviously very vulnerable to fire damage. And obviously Goblin King comes in here. Again, we're just getting everything on the right unit, so we got fire arrows going on the Ents there, we're flanking the archers. And although the main objective here is to destroy 3 fortresses, we've just took down the first one there obviously. We have another one available right now. And then the third one won't be available until the beach is cleared, which is obviously why we have to do it quickly. And this was a nice beach clear, like they went down really fast, no problems there. So again, we're using the bats here, and that is going to reveal the fortress at the back there. and I'm going to bombard that. You can actually, you don't need the bats. You can, there's a bot, if you press R, you can bombard things in Fog of War. So if you know where the fortresses are, which I kind of do at this point pretty much, you don't necessarily need the bats, but they are obviously helpful. So you can tell by the dialogue there that that second fortress has already gone down. The beach is cleared now. I'm actually moving my forces up on the beach because I want to get a few more command points by attacking more enemy units just over here. Look. But I've already destroyed that fortress. Got it in one volley, which is kind of rare. And yeah, that was just a really fast mission too. 6:37 there. And that is a big chunk of my time saved compared to my previous run. Pretty mediocre too. Yeah, I thought that was something else I was going to talk. Oh yes, of course. Again, I did mention a hard run. My commentary here is a one take. It's probably why it's not, it's not great. It's a bit scuffed. Basically, my editing software got my deleted from my PC, and now I can only do these in one takes. Hopefully, I don't get interrupted or anything. But yeah, I'm going to try and do my best to explain what's going on and everything. I'll tell you about the time saves and everything. So I hope this commentary is at least decent. So, yeah, 6:37 there, very nice. Moving on to the Shire. Now, I remember saying in my 3 years ago, in my first major run of this game, I remember saying that the Shire was definitely the hardest mission in the campaign on easy difficulty, and I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. To be honest, I don't think any of these missions are difficult anymore. After playing hard difficulty, like I know obviously it's hard and easy difficult. They're obviously going to be different, but yeah, compared to hard difficulty, I've just learned how to play this game so much better. And the fact that I can't lose fights anymore is just such a big deal, compared to hard, where anything can go wrong very quickly. But yeah, the Shire. So the reason that this was so difficult is because the RNG on the Dunedain soldiers. Essentially, there are a ton of Dunedain soldiers, and a lot of them sort of come into your base or attack you or don't attack you at random times. And that obviously caused a lot of problems when you wanted to, speedrun the game, because you didn't really know what you were going to get or where the enemies were going to come from. But I've actually figured out a strategy that pretty much eliminates all the RNG, and I've also figured out sort of where the Dunedain are primarily in the places where there aren't really any RNG, or I've just, again, I don't think there's as much RNG as I initially thought. So you can see I've sent my Goblin King right up to that north area there. Obviously, just going behind this base and destroying these 3 Dunedain squads right here with my giants very quick. But I found out that if you get your Goblin King above Bag End, somewhere around there, it will call in sort of the camp of Dunedain warriors. And with that and the fact that you've just aggroed a bunch more Dunedain warriors in the walk up there, you will pull every single Dunedain warrior into your base with a Goblin King like that. This is technically, I maybe could save a little bit more time here by destroying the seat of power up there with my Goblin King, but I only did that in my individual level run because it was like super inconsistent. A lot of the times he would just die to the catapult stun, because it's a big stun. So I just decided to do it this way, and then the spider riders could run straight up to that seat of power. But you can see, look at this. Instead of having to wait around for the Dunedain to come in or going looking for all the Dunedain, they just run all into your base, and you can just bring into the tower, spawn in your wildmen, and just annihilate them. And again, pretty much all of the other Dunedain warriors are going to be down here by the giants. Sometimes the Dunedain warriors can sort of attack other units in your field once they've been aggroed. And you can see, actually, I think they do. They send a few squads after these giants because they've already been aggroed in from obviously the Goblin King. But that's fine. That's why I sent 2 giants down here just in case. But it's not a big deal. So you can see I've wiped out that seat of power there. I've sent the other giant up to get that sort of middle seat of power, and my first squad of spider riders go straight up to that final seat of power at the top. And yeah, the Dunedain one has pretty much been eliminated at my base. The giant is going to finish off the other ones down there. That should be out for them. And the seats of power is about to go down now. As you can see, we've got all our units on it. So yeah, just a really solid execution. This ended up actually being another PB, not for like the individual levels, but for just running this mission. I normally get like a 430 something on this mission in practice, and I believe this was a 427, so you get a nice PB time here. Like I said, 22 seconds away from all of my total PB. So just very nice run overall. So yeah, Eisenkar comes in here, and again, if you haven't seen this run, I've said this a few times now after obviously commentating this run a few times. But Wormtongue essentially is the only objective here until the builders come in and build a fortress. As long as you kill Wormtongue before you destroy, before the builders come in, you just win the game. So we just dogpile Wormtongue, and that's just it. That's the mission. Another really nice mission there, and it's honestly fairly consistent now. I don't really have any problems with RNG, and yeah, just a combination of getting better at the game and understanding the level more allows me to save. It's got to be yeah, like what is it, like 8 seconds, 38 seconds there compared to my previous run, which I actually thought was really good at the time for that mission. So moving on to mission 4 here, and this one actually not really, not much improvement at all. Essentially this is just about execution here. Still a really cool strategy. This is the one I came up with again. I've mentioned this before. Essentially previous runners thought that you could obviously use the Wildman to do some serious damage here, but they didn't realize that you could literally send the Wildman right to the back of the enemy base, destroy the enemy citadel and destroy the hammer, and that is the entire back section of the enemy base gone with just Wildman. No one really could do that, but that makes actually, yeah, not this mission a big time save compared to other runners. You can see we're getting 2 fissures up here. It's just sending our goblins off to get more power points. I haven't mentioned yet, power points are a big part of this this campaign. Essentially, we're not really going for anything that isn't super necessary. We're basically saving up to get one particular upgrade. And again, I won't spoil it because it's kind of cool what we do with those power points. But yeah, you'll see when we get there. But essentially, yeah, just getting power points up is a very big deal in this game. So again, another 2 fissures up here. You can see I've just sort of tiny optimizations like clearing the fortress and the goblin cave and stuff out of the way, just to get my cave dwellers out a little bit faster. And I haven't mentioned either in this run. So cave trolls. The reason we play this on 1.06, the patch 1.06 for the evil campaign, is essentially solely for cave trolls. In the initial in 1.0, you can't build cave trolls without upgrading the fissure once, and in 1.09 generally enemies have more health. So essentially, a best patch to play on is 1.06. You are allowed to decide which patch you are allowed to play in this game. It's kind of just in the air. And yeah, that allows us to get instant cave trolls, which is important for mission 1, but it's also important more so for this mission. You can see we sent our cave trolls straight through the middle. On easy difficulty, you can just go straight for this gate because the catwalks really don't do a lot of damage compared to hard. I would go to the wall to the right on hard difficulty, but yeah, we're just going straight through the middle here. And you can see we break down the gate, immediately go in with our spider riders as well. Our wildmen have already taken out the back objectives, so we get our cave trolls on the closer archery ranges. May as well send the Goblin King in as well. I make a small mistake here with my spider riders. I'm just sort of standing around watching these guys. I really should be looking at the spider riders there, because I wanted to split this one off to attack this archery range here. And yeah, the main objective here, before the battlefield expands, and obviously we're supposed to go to the back of the enemy base, is to destroy the 4 archery ranges, and that's what we did there, and that just ends the mission because we're done. And that ended up being, I think, a 320, sort of a 9-second time save, which isn't bad. Again, purely execution differences there to just save a little bit more time on my previous record. just take a drink. I don't know if I mentioned that. So this run is a minute 57 seconds faster than my previous records, which is actually a big amount of time saved considering my previous run was actually pretty solid. But yeah, it's just yeah. I did like this run. I didn't expect to be able to get quite as oh, it's the 323, sorry. But I didn't expect to get quite as good a run as I did, so I'm very thankful for that. Move on to mission 5 here. So I think this is this is it isn't. Sorry, I'm just thinking it is the slowest mission in the game. It's not, because mission 2 is still the slowest, but actually it's not by much now, obviously, because the improvements to mission 2. This mission, however, essentially the main objective here is to capture 4 enemy towers, or to build 4 towers on the key points on this road that's close to the enemy base. And essentially the thing you're going to be waiting on in this mission is builders. You only start with 2 builders. You need to obviously build another 2 to get all the towers up at the same time, so you're going to be waiting that final builder. Something I actually do in my individual level, which you could do here, is it is like a hand, like 2 or maybe a 3 or 4 seconds faster to build 2 towers with 1 builder. Obviously the closest 2 towers with 1 builder, and obviously you have 2 more builders to get the other 2 builders. That is very slightly faster than building 4 builders, I found. That allows for a couple of seconds time save. However, the execution is generally more difficult, and I found that with pathing and just attack waves, it was just really inconvenient, and so I didn't really figure it worth it to attempt to go for that in the IL. Oh, sorry, in this run. I only did it for the individual level. This ends up being a second faster than my previous record, actually, just because I think it's something to do with me building the tower slightly closer to where the building can get to faster in this little highlighted area. But you'll see in a moment. So we just cleared out a bunch of the enemies with our Nazgul. Obviously our builders run straight past, and we're going to go. We've got Shelob obviously capturing the Spiderlings. We're going to go straight in, and there are a bunch of archers in this road here that just sort of spawn in when you come up to this road. We send on the Wildman, we use the bats, and we specifically, it's very important that you place the tower around about there, this summon tower ability, because of the Ents. Essentially the Ents come in and they attack your northeast tower as soon as they get up, and you obviously can't allow that to happen. So if you put that tower there, they'll actually go for that instead. That is more important on easy difficulty. In a hard, this is actually a difference. On hard, I actually go for the Watcher, I believe, instead of the tower. I just found that better because clearing enemies was a lot more difficult in hard, and it was more important to get the Watcher. But because we literally don't have the builders to build an extra tower there to distract Ents, because we go into this base a lot faster on easy difficulty, you have to use the tower here, and that's why we have that. And also the tower is actually quite important for mission 9. Which we won't have the Watcher by then. So yeah, I think that's almost. I think that's all the towers up. Yeah, the last one is just building. They're obviously the closest one to the base. It's going to be the last one to be constructed. And again, it's on easy difficulty. They really don't do a lot of damage to these towers. They do last a while, so you don't have to worry too much. And essentially, this last tower is going to get up, then you have to wait 2 minutes for the mission to end. You just have to hold the enemies off for 2 minutes. And but your mission isn't over once you've sort of secured the area. You need to, as I mentioned earlier, you need to be getting power points up. Very important. This mission is kind of a big one because there can be a lot of enemies, and you obviously have 2 minutes or so to actually just farm units. So there you go, you got the 3rd tower up. That means the Ents are coming in, and the 4th tower up there. And yeah, we go straight for the Ents with these Nazgul, because even though the Ents, they're basically just going to attack that tower for a while, they can eventually obviously take things down, so you have to be kind of careful with them. But yeah, so farming command points up. So ideally, we want to be leaving this mission with at least sort of 22-ish command points to have a good-ish run on off our mission 6. But yeah, essentially mission 6 is a really good one for building up command points, but you need to leave that mission with 35. Obviously, I'm saying this. If you look at what I've got right now, and then you add on the extra points that I don't have yet, that's what you need. So we want to be leaving mission 6 with 35, definitely. Can't leave it until we got 35. But ideally, we want to be leaving this mission with at least 22, maybe more, in order to allow that to happen. And we actually leave this mission with quite a few more. I'm not too sure if it's easier or harder to farm power points on the easy difficulty or on a hard difficulty, but I am leaning towards it's just easier on the easy difficulty. Obviously, for missions like this where your units just live a lot longer and you're able to kill, so obviously you've still got these production buildings up from the enemy, you can just keep farming as they come out, and that makes it, you know, easy to farm points. We're already on 23 here, you've got still got time left to go. Just obviously not targeting the barracks or anything, just focusing units that come out. Yeah, and yeah, mission 5, not a difficult mission. You're pretty much going to get the same time every time, as long as you learn the route. It's not too bad. Obviously, yeah, getting the towers down initially is kind of hectic, but if you can learn that, it's easy. So they actually did manage to take out 3 Nazgul, which is kind of rare and easy, but there we go. So we're on 24 command points, which is actually really solid. It's also kind of important that you get the Nazgul levels up on mission 1 specifically. You want to be leaving with Nazguls at least sort of level 3, maybe ideally level 4, because you want to be able to use sort of, you know, Mouth of Sauron spells on this mission. Kind of, they're fairly useful, more so on hard, but and yeah, obviously you got the fear from the Nazgul. Just a lot of reasons why you want to get them leveled up for this. By the time we see them again in mission 8 though, they'll be level 10, so it won't matter. So yeah, that was a nice time. 6:27, nothing to complain about there. And moving on to mission 6. Mission 6 is a really fast one. It would be the fastest mission in the game if mission 7 wasn't what mission 7 is. You'll see in a moment. But yeah, this ends up being I think it's a 2:16 for this one, which is faster than my previous record by I think 6 seconds, but also slower than it really should be by like 4-ish seconds, and you'll see why at the end of this mission. But overall, it's a really fast one. The reason is essentially there are fire drakes that you need to free, and the game expects you to sort of, you know, move your army through all the bases, destroy the enemies, you know, get through the walls and do it sort of a slowish way. But the thing is, the gates on these Drake pit pens, they're really weak, and you can just sort of send your units in and annihilate them. And if you're able to split up your units correctly, they'll go down quick. So what we're going to do is going to send our Nazgul up to that top right base. We can actually split off our Mouth of Sauron and our Nazgul, because obviously compare that to hard. On easy, you won't lose your Nazgul to this base. They'll be fine. On hard difficulty, you do have to keep them all together, and that does slow it down a bit. But yeah, Mouth of Sauron, obviously the amount of damage that the Nazgul and the Mouth of Sauron do is about equal. You have to use the Mouth of Sauron ability on it, if you see there, does a big amount of damage. But they take these gates down about the same time. These should be the last gates you use. Obviously we're getting our trolls on the initial gate, and wildmen on the one to the bottom right. And that's all the drakes already. That's a really fast one. You may have seen in my individual level, if you actually get the Eye of Sauron and Spiderling upgrades, you can summon Spiderlings right next to this dragon pit, which is kind of cool, saves a bit of time. But that's basically the only time saver in this mission. This is already like really fast, with or without powers. So you can see I'm using my further back Nazgul to attack archers. I do make a mistake here. I shouldn't have, with the front Nazgul, I shouldn't have bothered attacking the archers. I was worried because we didn't have the 35 command points, but we ended up getting them before he got there, like a fair amount before he got to this dragon. I probably would have been fine just going straight to the dragon there. So that was a bit of a mistake. I lost a few seconds, but not a big deal. Um, the thing is as well is your units continue to build power points. Even after you lose control of units, you have like a few extra seconds. So yeah, it would have been fine there. But either way, we're leaving with the 35 that we need. That's the important thing. With a solid time here, 2:16. And then we're moving on to mission 7, which is where you need the major upgrade. And we'll see that in a moment. Again, I've done this exact thing in my hard difficulty. Well, I'll just let the mission speak for itself. I didn't want to spoil anything, just in case you hadn't seen it, because it's kind of cool. But yeah.
The time has come for dragons to fight for Sauron.
That's one. Weirdly, this is the only other mission where I actually lose time compared to my record by my previous record by a second here. Obviously mission 1 and this mission. But yeah, here we go.
Before assaulting the mountain, we must first conquer the sea.
Yeah, just a little bit slow there. I'm getting that scale down. And that's the mission 7 there. So again, that's why you need the command points. We're not obviously going for anything else that might be helpful in previous missions, because we need to go straight for that dragon spell. Yeah, they just didn't think of that when they were making the level. Just literally using the dragon spell there. I guess I did mention that in my hard run, they do disable bats in this mission, so it does make it more difficult to cheese Erebor. And I've actually played this mission like standard. It's quite a difficult mission. The enemy really do like to sort of throw units at you permanently from multiple different sides, and it can get quite overwhelming. But yeah, if again you're not supposed to. The idea is you're not supposed to be going for Erebor for quite a while. You're supposed to hold off the enemy forces until you can build up sort of attack trolls and stuff. But one spell is all you need. And that works perfectly fine on hard difficulty as well. But yeah, moving into mission 8 here. So another mission where there's not really any significant improvement. There are a couple of things I do differently, but mainly execution differences here. I actually make a mistake in my initial run here. I lose my first giant, which is a big deal, because this mission essentially, similar to mission 2, you're going in to destroy 3 elven fortresses, and that's how you win the mission. And obviously the best way to generally do that is giants, siege units. So we're going to go straight in here. So we're going to go for the fissure. We want the tunnel up, because money is kind of important here as well. And I actually, I come really close to not getting that. I don't know what happened there. I wanted to get my bats down to reveal that area and then immediately get a tower down. And for some reason the spot was red, and I was like really worried, because oh no, that's kind of a significant time loss if I don't get that tower down. But eventually I did get it down. Unfortunately, that's in the wrong spot. It's too far forward, and you'll see why that's kind of an issue later on. But yeah, we're gonna get it on the gate there, and you'll notice as well, I'm sending my builder up through this left path. I'm a bit worried there, because I wasn't too sure if my builder had got far enough up that area to trigger something. The Dunedain, you can see in a moment. There we go. The Dunedain come in. I'm like, that's what we wanted, because essentially the Nazgul will come in to defend you once the Dunedain are in your base. So it's like, essentially you're triggering the Dunedain in order to call your units in. There was a good 5 seconds there where I thought I'd basically completely failed the run, because I didn't think my builder got far enough in to call them in, and I was just panicking, wondering what I was going to do. But we did manage to call them in, so it's not a big deal. One small improvement here that I make is I build towers right here. They like to send a lot of archers sort of in your... Essentially, when you get too close to that river there, next to the bridge, they like to send their archers sort of around into your base. I think they sort of bug out and they just sort of attack your base. I'm not sure if it's intended to happen, but Yeah, just getting towers there again for the Dunedain as well. It's just a nice distraction, and you do have the money to spare. So you come on a Nazgul, level 10 Nazgul, not very nice here. We're actually getting these in before our giant has even came off. Our first giant isn't even here yet. You kill enough of the Dunedain here, and hobbits come in. And I was explaining earlier, I put the tower that we constructed there. I didn't even explain why. So the archers don't attack that tower, that summon tower. Not entirely sure why. Basically, the archers have priority on units. It's the same in Mission 5 actually. They don't go for your towers. They attack enemy units, not towers. Yeah, they don't bother with towers. So all of the enemy units over there are towers. So sorry, are archers. So if you just put your tower there, it will be able to slowly whittle away enemy units without taking damage. We're actually going to put it on the gate there instead of these 4 towers that have enemy archers in them. There's essentially the reason for that is, although it would technically make this kind of more difficult, because initially in a previous run you'd be able to take all these towers out at the same time, and then you'd be able to sort of crush the archers with an overwhelming force, and your Nazgul and that. Essentially, the reason we do this is because the gate takes a long time to go down, and you only have so many units that are able to attack it because of surface area. Compared to this, where you're sort of taking all these archers out at the same time, it just sort of works out a little bit better if you take the gate out with your summon spell. I hope that makes sense. I didn't explain that very well, but I hope you understand what I mean. It's just a little bit faster to do it this way. And we're going in here, so again we got the 2 spells. We activated 1 spell, I think, on our main forces. And you saw when I summoned Wildmen, I summoned them behind the bridge, and that was obviously because the tower was out of position. I couldn't summon them anywhere else. That was a little bit annoying, but yeah. So there's 2 spells you need to bait out once you destroy that gate. One is the water spell, and then the other one is the fire spell. You don't want to get your siege units too close to the gate, just in case they decide to target them instead of your units that are further ahead. You have to be kind of careful there. But yeah, at this point we're in the base. Obviously haven't lost any giants yet. We got in here pretty quickly, and that's the major time save of the mission. Already had this the initial fortress gone down. Something that I realised in my individual level split of this mission that you may have seen, where I use just spells to take this mission out, pure PowerPoint spells. And I get this mission down in a couple of minutes. I'd really recommend that. But yeah, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, something I realised there is that the tower on the right, or the fortress on the right, has more health than the other ones. It has the upgrade. So you definitely want to use that dragon spell on the back fortress before you destroy the fortress on the right, because then the other fortress will go down really quickly, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the mission there. Got carried away on that mission explaining things, but I hope it all made sense. And yeah, I've explained this mission, it's like 3 times now on 3 different runs. It's getting kind of crazy, because I'm hoping, yeah, obviously this is for new people, so I'm hoping the explanations were good for new people. You didn't learn too much if you've seen this run before. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a commentary on that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think my easy run, actually, the commentary version wasn't the initial. Yeah, I uploaded the non-commentary version to speedrun.com and made the non-commentary version the public version of this video, and the commentary version was actually unlisted. So a lot of people wouldn't have seen this commentated on easy. So yeah, I guess it's important I did do this. Ended up being, what is it, a 32-33, very fast. Again, not looking to improve this one again unless someone else finds something major. 5:36 there, not the fastest time I've ever done, but a really nice time. 24 seconds saved compared to my previous record. So yeah, that's the run. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did. Sorry about the kind of scuffed one-take audio. No, it's not great, but at least you get a commentary of some kind. Obviously, if you didn't want to watch the commentary, there's an unlisted non-commentary, which is fine. You can watch that as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm What's next? I was actually thinking about running the original game, Battle for Middle Earth 1. I was thinking about running that, so you may eventually see some kind of run on that. The world records for that seem to be actually very good, so it's going to be hard to beat. But yeah, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more Lord of the Rings, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.